Good afternoon, Owls fans. As we get ready for the fourth match of the day at the Lawrence North Wildcat Invitational. Owls are currently 2-1 on the day, defeating Franklin Central and Andrea, and then following to Westfield in a hard-fought 3-set battle, losing the third set, 13-15. Out there for the Owls, we got Maynard, Adamowitz, Perry, Kessler, Powers, and Nixon. Maynard sends it to Perry. Perry, Kessler off the block, and she gets a point, and the Owls score first. Maynard back to serve once again. Perry, Maynard pushes it up. Powers rolls it over the net. There's the block. Perry again. Powers, this time cross court. Down the middle, Adamowitz with the dig. Powers into the block. And one too many touches, and that point goes to the Wildcats. And we're tied at 1 point apiece. Adamowitz. Nixon from the right side, dug up by Lawrence North. Perry, Kessler on the slide. Ooh, just barely gets it. Adamowitz from the back row. Perry knocks it up. Adamowitz sends it forward. Powers sends the free ball over. And the Owls get the point. Now leading 2-1. Nixon goes back to serve for the Owls. And she gets the ace, and the Owls go up 3-1 early in the first set. Nixon goes back to serve once again. And a big swing from Lawrence North. And they get the point. Owls leading though, 3-2. Powers, Kessler pushes it over to Adamowitz, and they can't get it over in time. And we're going to be tied at 1 point apiece. Powers to Perry. Back to Powers down the middle, and that goes out of bounds. And the Owls go down 1 point. 3-4. Powers to Perry. She dumps it over the net. Maynard with the dig. At the net, out of bounds. Point to the Wildcats. They now lead 5-3. Serve is out of bounds, and that point goes to the Owls. They're trailing by 1, 4-5. Powers back to serve. Perry, Adamowitz is going to send it down the line. And free ball sent over. Adamowitz, Perry, Kessler, and she got too far under it. It rolls Out of bounds, and the Wildcats now lead 6-4. Stevenson back to serve for Lawrence North. Powers, Perry, Kessler with the big swing. Maynard, Perry, Kessler. This one goes the other way. It'll be a free ball. Maynard sends it over to Kessler into the block. Nixon sends it to Adamowicz into the block on that side. Nixon dives and gets it over on a good hustle play from the freshman. McDowell pushes it over for Lawrence North. There's a big swing. Adamowicz one-arms it, and it goes into the scorer's table. And that point goes to Lawrence North. The Wildcats lead the Owls 7-4. Stevenson to serve again. Kessler, and that point's going to go to Lawrence North, and they've doubled up the score over the Owls, 8-4. Adamowicz rolls it over the net, and she gets the kill. Owls trailing 5-8. Kessler goes back to serve. And a roll shot from Peterson lands in the middle of the court, and that'll be a point for the Wildcats. Leading the Owls 9-5. Blumke back to serve. Maynard. Big swing from the Wildcats. Kessler from the back row. Dug up. Kessler digs it up. And it comes into the upper deck. Sorry about that, had to chase down the ball. Owls trailing 10-6. Perry with the serve. And attacking air on Whetstone. Gives another point to the Owls. They've closed within 3. Mara Perry back to serve. Powers, Perry, Nixon from the right side, and that slides out of bounds. That point goes to the Wildcats. They're leading the Owls by 4, 7-11. Dixon from the outside. And the Wildcats send it over, and it's tipped out of bounds by the Owls. And there's a receiving error on the Owls as nobody was there, and then be an ace for Lawrence North. They're leading 13-7. That one's out of bounds. Point goes to the Owls, and they're trailed by 5. Adamowitz goes back to serve. And she sends it out of bounds. Point goes to the Wildcats. They're up to a 6-point lead, 8-14. Peterson's going to go back to serve. Adamowitz to Perry. Powers sends it off the block, and the Owls get the point, and we're closed within 5 now. Maynard to serve. Whetstone throws it over to the net and gets the point. And they're up 6 points, 15-9. And there's an ace for Lawrence North. Service here gives it back over to the Owls, and they're trailing by 6, 10-16. Nixon goes back to serve. And the swing from the Wildcats goes off an Owl's block and lands in the court. And they go up by 7, 10-7. Adamowitz. Powers. She gets a swing and goes off the block and gets the point. Owls trailing 11-17. Back row attack. Kessler's there with the block and gets the point. Powers once again. She gets the ace, and the Owls are slowly climbing back into it as they only trail by 4, 13-17. And into the net, and that point it's going to go over to Wildcats. Stevenson is serving. Powers. Kessler sends it across the court. Tipped out of bounds. Point goes to the Owls, and they're within 4. And the Owls get the point, and within 3, Kessler's back to serve once again. Kessler sends it deep into the Wildcat backcourt. Tipped over by Peterson. Adamowitz with the roll shot. And Peterson with the swing goes out of bounds, and the Owls have closed within 2. 16-18. Kessler serve once again. Peterson with the swing. Powers to Perry. Nixon from the back row. It's going to be dug up by the Wildcats. Powers. Perry runs it down. Nixon again sends it over. And she gets a kill. And the Owls were within 1, 17-18. Kessler once again to serve. And McDowell throws it into the Owls bench, and that's going to tie us up at 18 points apiece. And Lawrence North is going to take a timeout. Owls back again, tied at 18. Kessler, and that serve goes long, and the Wildcats retake the lead, 19-18. Rumke back to serve. Adamowitz. Maynard, and she gets the kill down the middle, and the Owls have tied it up at 19 points apiece. Mara Perry back to serve for the Owls. And the attacking air, and that gives the Owls the lead, 20-19. Perry back to serve. And Nixon and Maynard with the block, and the Owls get the point, now leading 21-19. Perry continuing to serve. Nixon, Perry, Adamowitz rolls it over the net. There's the roll shot. Adamowitz sends it to Perry. Nixon from the right side. And they get the point, and the Owls go up 22-19. Perry with the quick first. Nixon and Maynard get it over. Another attacking error on Peterson, and the Owls are up 23-19. Owls are actually on a 13-1 run, once trailing 10-18. Mara Perry sends it over. Powers, Perry, Adamowitz. The overpass right back. Perry dumps it over to the far corner. Nixon digs up the dump from the Wildcats. Maynard runs in and gets it over. Maynard sends it over. Owls hustling to keep it alive. Powers, Perry, Adamowitz off the block. Oh! And the point goes to the Owl. There's a double hit on the Wildcats, and the Owls go back for set point. Owls leading 24-19. And the swing down the middle from Whetstone goes out of bounds, and the Owls take the first set, 25-19. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second set. Welcome back, Owls fans, as we get ready for the second set. Owls took the first one, 25-19. Maynard with the swing. Down the middle, Perry with the dig. Nixon. Ivy into the net. First point's going to go to the Wildcats. Maynard with the big swing. Dug up by Lawrence North. Morrison. Nixon. Lawrence North digs it up. Roll shot. Morrison. Perry. Ivy with the kill. And we're tied at 1 point apiece. Nixon back to serve. And the Wildcats get the point and go up 2-1. Morrison, Perry gets it up, but Owls can't get there. Serve into the net, and the Owls get the point. Their trail 3-2. Scott back to serve. Powers digs it up. Perry over to Morrison, and she gets the kill. And that'll tie us up at 3 points apiece. Scott back to serve. Tipped over. And a lift called on the Wildcats, and the Owls get the point, and they take the lead 4-3. Scott sends it all the way across the court. Ivy quickly tips over to the overpass. Scott. Morrison. And that lands right on the line, and the Owls get the point and go up 5-3. Scott to serve once again. And she'll get the ace. It's deflected off the Wildcat player. Owls will double the score, 6-3. Wildcat scrambling. Will be a free ball sent over. Nixon. Ivy, and there's a point for the Owls, now leading 7-3. Katie Scott back to serve once again. Back row attack from Peterson. Powers. Ivy. Morrison sends it deep into. And Ivy's there with the block, and the Owls go up by 5, 8-3. And that'll be a timeout for Lawrence North. Welcome back, Owls fans, as we are in the final match of the Lawrence North Wildcat Invite. Owls are facing Lawrence North here. Scott serves. This time it goes out of bounds. And that'll go back over to the Wildcat side. Owls are currently 2-1 on the day, defeating Franklin Central and Andrea before falling in 3 sets to Westfield. And there's Ivy with the kill, and the Owls go up by 5, 9-4. Ivy back to serve. And that lands just out of bounds. Point goes to the Wildcats. Owls leading 9-5. Kessler with the, and she powers it through the double block, and the Owls have doubled up the score. And there's a swing from McDowell, and she gets a point And we'll go back over to Lawrence North. Owls leading 10-6. Kessler, Perry, Nixon. Morrison pushes it into the back corner. Powers from the back row. And finally, Lawrence North gets the point. But the Owls continue to lead by 3, 10-7. Kessler sends it to the back corner. Lawrence North there. Morrison, Perry, Nixon. Nixon digs it up. Scott sends it over to Morrison. She threads it through the block, and the Owls go up 11-7. Morrison, and that goes out of bounds. Owls leading 11-8. Morrison handles it to Perry. Nixon on the right side, she gets the kill, and the Owls go up 12-8. Ivy returns to the front row for the Owls. Freshman Rory Powers will go back to serve. McClelland sends it down the line and gets the point for Lawrence North. Peterson's going to go back to serve. Morrison, Ivy, and that's into the block and lands on the outside. And Lawrence North picks up another point, trailing by 2, 10-12. Peterson back again. Morrison, Perry, Ivy, and the Wildcats can't return it, and the point goes to the Owls, now leading 13-10. Nixon's going to go back to serve. And there's the swing and the kill for the Wildcats. Owls holding on to a 2-point lead, 13-11. Morrison, Perry, Ivy on the slide, and she picks up the point. Owls leading 14-11. Scott's going to return to the front row and place the mainer, or check that. She's going to go in the back row. She'll actually go back to serve. Serve from Scott. Morrison. Net violation on the Wildcats, gives the point to the Owls. They now lead 15-11. Scott sends it too deep and out of bounds. And that point's going to go to the Wildcats. They continue to hang around this second set, only trailing by 2, 15-13. Morrison, Ivy. She had the big one. A good dig from the Wildcats. Ivy again off the block, and this time rolling out the fingers and gets a point. Owls back up to a 4-point lead, leading 16-12. Carmichael comes in for the Owls, as well as Kessler. Ivy's going to be back to serve. There's a free ball. Nixon. Kessler puts it down and gets a point, and the Owls are up 17-12. Substitution. Weigeman's going to come in for Ivy, and she'll be serving. Sends it to the back middle of the court. And the triple block of Perry, Kessler, and Morrison gets the point. Owls leading 18-12. And a couple too many touches there for the Owls. And that point's going to go to the Wildcats. Owls leading 18-13. Stevenson goes back to serve. Weigeman. And the overpass lands inbounds. Just on the line, and the Owls pick up the point, now leading 19-13. McDowell did. Nixon is going to be dug up. McDowell pushes it over. Carmichael tries to get it but can't, and point goes to Lawrence North. Owls leading 19-14. Rumkey back to serve. Morrison to Perry. Nixon down the middle. Going to be dug up. And Peterson sends it down the line and gets a point for Lawrence North. They've closed within 4. They're definitely not going to quit easy on this second set. Nixon from the outside, Perry, Kessler, and off her hand and out of bounds. And the Wildcats are within 3. Rumkey back to serve. Morrison, and they get the ace. Rumkey, Morrison, Perry runs it down. Nixon reaches up and gets it. But clipped the antenna on the way over. And the Wildcats are within 2, 19-18. Substitutions. Scott enters the lineup for the Owls, and Ivy's going to return also. And Powers is going to quickly come in and substitute for Ivy. Powers to Perry. Kessler into the block, and that'll put an end to it as the Owls get their 20th point, 20-18. Sophia Mander returning to the front row. Mia Morrison back to serve. McClellan gets the kill. And the Wildcats remain within 1, trailing the Owls 19-20. Morrison sends it to Perry. Sends it over to Nixon. Perry Powers. Good hustle play there by the Owls. Nixon with the block. Peter. Oh, and it's going to be pushed out of bounds. And we're going to be tied at 20 points apiece. Dodson back to serve. Morrison. Nixon. And the block sitting there waiting. Perry dumps it over. Roll shot. Inbounds. And the Wildcats take the lead, 21-20. Timeout for Lawrence North.